The hollowed hills of Hollywood. All right, my friend, settle in. I've got a story that'll send shivers down your spine. We're stepping into the glitzy, glamorous heart of Hollywood, where the stars shine bright, but the shadows hold dark secrets. Picture this. The year was 1978, and I was a wide-eyed, fresh-faced kid from a small town, chasing dreams under the neon lights of Tinseltown. Hollywood Boulevard stretched out before me like a sparkling promise, but little did I know, the city of angels had a darker side. The air was thick with anticipation, the hum of ambition palpable. I had landed a job as a production assistant on a film set, thinking it was my ticket to stardom. But in Hollywood, dreams can turn to nightmares faster than you can say action. We were filming in an old, decrepit mansion nestled in the hills. It had a history, a murky past that sent chills down the spines of even the most seasoned crew members. They spoke in hushed tones of strange occurrences, of shadows that danced in the corners of the frame. As the days wore on, I couldn't shake the feeling of being watched. It was as if the very walls of the mansion had eyes, secrets that they were eager to share. It was unnerving, to say the least, but in Hollywood, you learn to brush off the unease and keep rolling. One night, as we set up for a crucial scene, a hush fell over the crew. The atmosphere was charged, as if the air itself held its breath. That's when I saw her. A figure, pale and ghostly, stood at the top of the grand staircase. Her eyes were pools of darkness, and her presence sent a shiver down my spine. She was like a spectre from another time, a silent witness to the secrets of the mansion. I wasn't the only one who saw her. The director, a grizzled veteran of the industry, paled and muttered something about a draft, but we all knew the truth. Something was amiss in that mansion, something that defied explanation. As the days went on, the atmosphere on set grew tense. Shadows seemed to move of their own accord, and strange noises echoed through the halls. It was as if the very soul of the mansion was rebelling against our intrusion. One night, as I was leaving the set, I heard it, a soft haunting melody, like the notes of a long-forgotten lullaby. It seemed to drift through the air, ethereal and otherworldly. I followed the sound, drawn like a moth to a flame. The melody led me deeper into the mansion, to a room that seemed frozen in time. It was as if the years had stood still, leaving behind a scene from another era. And there, sitting at a grand piano, was the figure from the staircase. She played with a grace that was both mesmerizing and haunting. Her fingers danced across the keys, a mournful tune that seemed to echo through the empty halls. It was a performance that held me captive, a song that spoke of longing and loss. I couldn't tear my eyes away, couldn't escape the spell that she wove. It was as if time itself had stopped, leaving only the haunting melody to fill the void. And then, in a flash, she was gone. The room was empty, the echoes of the piano fading into the silence. I was alone in the mansion, the weight of the past pressing in on me. As the days passed, I became consumed by the mystery of the figure. Who was she? What secrets did the mansion hold? I couldn't rest until I knew the truth. Late one night, fueled by determination and a touch of madness, I ventured into the heart of the mansion, guided by the memory of the haunting melody. The air was heavy with the scent of old wood and decay, the silence broken only by the creaking of the floors beneath my feet. I reached the room, the grand piano looming like a silent sentinel. And there, in the dim light, I saw her again. The figure from the staircase, her eyes filled with a sadness that seemed to pierce my soul. She spoke, her voice a whisper in the darkness. She told me of a love lost, of a tragedy that had played out within the walls of the mansion. It was a tale of heartbreak and betrayal, a story that had left her bound to the place for eternity. And then, in a flash, she was gone, leaving me standing alone in the darkness. It was a revelation that shook me to my core, a truth that defied explanation. As the years passed, I became a fixture on set, a familiar face among the bright lights and hidden shadows of Hollywood. But the memory of that night, of the figure and her haunting melody, stayed with me. And then, one fateful day, as I stood on the set of a new production, I saw her again. The figure from the mansion, her eyes filled with a sadness that seemed to stretch through the ages. It was then that I realized the truth. The mansion, the figure, the haunting melody, they were all a part of a story that transcended time. Hollywood held secrets that went beyond the glitz and glamour, secrets that whispered through the corridors of the past. And as I stood there, face to face with the figure, I knew that I was a part of that story, a witness to the echoes of a love that had never truly died. So there you have it, my friend. The tale of Hollywood, where dreams and nightmares dance in the moonlight, and the past lingers in every shadow. It's a story that stayed with me, a reminder that sometimes the most haunting tales are the ones that are woven into the very fabric of reality. Tinseltown Terror. Alright, sit tight, because I've got a story that'll make your blood run cold. We're diving headfirst into the heart of Hollywood, where the glitz and glamour can't quite mask the darkness that lurks beneath. Picture this. It was a sweltering summer day in 1995, and I found myself thrust into the midst of a star-studded event that would turn into a nightmare beyond my wildest dreams. I was just a wide-eyed camera operator, hoping for my big break in the world of filmmaking. The scene was set at the iconic Hollywood Bowl, a venue that had seen its fair share of legendary performances. The air was electric with anticipation, the crowd a sea of eager faces, all hoping for a glimpse of their favorite celebrities. It was a perfect day for a public event, or so I thought. As the event kicked off, the atmosphere was electric. Celebrities strolled down the red carpet, cameras flashing, fans screaming. It was a spectacle, a whirlwind of excitement and glamour. But as the day wore on, I began to sense an undercurrent of tension. It was as if something was brewing beneath the surface, something that threatened to shatter the facade of perfection. My instincts screamed at me to be vigilant, but I brushed it off, attributing it to the heat and the pressure of the event. And then it happened. A seemingly innocuous comment from one celebrity to another ignited a spark of controversy. Words turned into heated exchanges, and before I knew it, chaos erupted. The crowd, once unified in their adoration, now fractured into factions of supporters and detractors. It was like a powder keg waiting to explode, and all it took was one spark. I stood there, camera in hand, trying to capture the unfolding drama, but it was like trying to film a hurricane. The energy was frenetic, charged with a volatile mix of anger and passion. As the situation escalated, security struggled to maintain control. I watched in horror as the crowd surged forward, a tide of humanity that seemed unstoppable. It was a riot in the making, a nightmare come to life. My heart pounded in my chest as I realized the gravity of the situation. This wasn't just a PR nightmare. Lives were at stake. Panic set in, and I knew I had to get out of there. Camera be damned. I fought my way through the chaos, dodging flaring tempers and desperate cries for help. The once glamorous event had transformed into a battlefield, a scene straight out of a nightmare. As I finally broke free from the madness, I turned back to see the Hollywood Bowl engulfed in turmoil. It was a sight that would haunt my dreams for years to come. The very essence of Tinseltown had unraveled before my eyes, revealing the dark underbelly that lay hidden beneath the glitz and glamour. In the aftermath, the media frenzy was relentless. The incident made headlines around the world, a stark reminder that even in the land of dreams, reality could come crashing down in an instant. But here's the twist you didn't see coming. As the dust settled, rumors began to circulate. Whispers of a sinister plot, of hidden agendas and carefully calculated provocations. It was as if the entire event had been orchestrated, a puppet show with unseen hands pulling the strings. The truth remains shrouded in mystery, a chilling reminder that in Hollywood, not everything is as it seems. The incident at the Hollywood Bowl was a wake-up call, a stark reminder that even in the glitziest of worlds, darkness lurks in the shadows. So, my friend, next time you watch the Oscars or stroll down the Walk of Fame, remember that behind the dazzling facade is a history of secrets and scandals that Hollywood would rather forget. It's a place where dreams and nightmares walk hand in hand, and where reality has a way of crashing the party. Shadows on the silver screen. All right, buckle up, because I've got a Hollywood tale that'll give you goosebumps. We're diving straight into the heart of Tinseltown, where dreams come true, but nightmares lurk in the shadows. It was the summer of '87, and I had just landed my first big acting gig. The buzz on set was electric, the promise of stardom lingering in the air. But little did I know, this film would take us on a journey beyond the realm of the living. We were shooting in an old, abandoned studio lot. The place had history, you could feel it in the air. Those stories and legends whispered through the crew like a haunting refrain. But we laughed it off, dismissing it as old Hollywood superstition. As the days passed, strange things began to happen. Objects would shift when no one was around. Lights flickered for no reason. It was like the studio itself was alive, playing tricks on us. One night, while reviewing the day's footage, I saw it. A shadow, fleeting and indistinct, moved across the screen. It was there one moment, gone the next. My heart raced, my mind struggling to process what I had just witnessed. I brushed it off, attributing it to a trick of the light or a glitch in the equipment. But deep down, I couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. As the shoot continued, the incidents grew more frequent. Crew members spoke in hushed tones, glancing nervously over their shoulders. It was as if an unseen presence walked among us, watching, waiting. Then came the day that changed everything. We were filming a pivotal scene, a moment of high drama that would define the film. The tension was palpable, the air heavy with anticipation. As the director called action, I gave it my all, pouring my heart and soul into the performance. It was a moment of pure, raw emotion, a piece of my soul captured on film. But when we reviewed the footage, it was there, a figure, standing in the background, a silent observer to the scene. It was impossible. There had been no one there during the shoot. My blood ran cold, a shiver racing down my spine. I couldn't tear my eyes away from the screen. The figure seemed to flicker, as if it were caught between two worlds. It was like a ghost, a spectre from another time, intruding on our reality. Panic set in among the crew. The studio lot that had once felt like a second home now seemed alien and foreboding. Whispers of curses and hauntings filled the air, a chorus of fear that echoed through the halls. I knew I had to get to the bottom of it. I spent hours poring over old records, digging into the history of the studio lot, and then I found it. A forgotten tragedy, a fire that had claimed the lives of crew members decades ago. It was a revelation that sent shivers down my spine. The studio lot was haunted, the echoes of the past bleeding into the present. The figure in the footage was a ghost, a lost soul trapped within the confines of the silver screen. But here's the twist you didn't see coming. As I delved deeper into the history, I uncovered a name that sent a chill down my spine. It was the same name as the figure in the footage, a crew member who had perished in the fire. I realized then that the figure was not a malevolent force, but a lost soul, a spirit bound to the place they had once called home. They were reaching out, trying to communicate, to find peace in a world that had long moved on. In the end, we finished the film, knowing that we had shared the set with a presence from beyond the grave. The studio lot held a history of dreams and tragedies, a tapestry of lives lived and lost. So, my friend, the next time you watch a film, remember that sometimes the shadows on the screen hold more than just special effects. They hold the echoes of a past that refuses to be forgotten, a reminder that in Hollywood, reality and fantasy are never as far apart as they seem.